Welcome to the Mike Hill Show. I am live from my bedroom office. I guess we can call this office, but this is the space that I get allotted. Y'all know how the game go, but hey, I'm excited for this show. This is the playoff edition of the Mike Hill Show, so it'll be exclusively focused on the upcoming playoffs that are kicking off. Some sections have already played their first round, but CCS and NCS will start this weekend. And then I'll see if I can get into a little bit of that San Joaquin section here in the end. But let's just take a look at the shirt, baby. Let's take a look at the shirt. We got the Players Club. Some of y'all may know Coach Dan Casey is on the Twitter. He does have a great following and posts great content. Let me see if I can get his Twitter real quick so we can show him some love. So his Twitter is at Coach Dan Dan Casey Casey. Man, he is out of Texas. He is the offensive coordinator at Episcopal High School in Houston, Texas. But he posts some good content, man. I'm talking about cut ups that you'll never be able to find. He has them. He has about 61,000 followers, so that'll go ahead and tell you all you need to know about that. But me, I'll be at the house and I got to use the record and rewind when I see some plays. I like to see that maybe we can incorporate that into our offense. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but you got to stay with your mind working. But shout out to Coach Dan Casey and the Players Club, man. I'll be rocking this sweater this weekend for the playoff game, man. So let's just get into it real quick. I won't change the format too much, but we will get into the West Coast Preps top 25, and I'll just go after the big four because as you know, now the top 25 really starts changing all the time because some teams are done, some teams are catching a win, some teams go on to win state championships. So that top 25 is finished shake. But let's just take a look at the big four. We got the number one seed, that's Sarah Road SHC. We got Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh played Antioch in their little big game. And then we had De La Salle beat Clayton Valley Charter, and McClymonds steamrolled Castlemont. So that's the breakdown for the top four. Not too many changes going to happen there. Sierra still looks like the most dominant team in Northern California. So let's just look really quick at some upsets. There were a few upsets that for the CCS section, at least, that they had some catastrophic. It was catastrophic, some of the losses. That's the word I'm gonna go with. Never mind. But anyways, Hillsdale beat Aragon. Aragon was looking like the at-large bid according to a lot of the projections for the CCS. Now Aragon took that L and they are out of the playoffs. I don't believe that Hillsdale can make the playoffs, but they were the spoiler. Christopher was supposed to lose to Live Oak, according to some people, and Christopher ended up beating Live Oak. And then Christopher will move up in the division. Live Oak move down in the division. We'll get into that. Don't you worry. And then Terra Nova beat Half Moon Bay, and they weren't necessarily the spoiler, but they put their bid into the party, man. This is November Madness, like March Madness. This is November Madness. So they punched their bid into the game. So we'll take a look at all those. I'm gonna play around with this shared screen so y'all can see what I see. And let's see what we can do here. Bear with me. We're going to first start with the NCS brackets, and we'll try to get through that and see what it's looking like. But here we go. This go. Right here, I'm going to go to this. Share this page here. Let's pull this up, make it a little bit bigger. And if the share screen is working, which I hope it is, man, I'll have to double check at the end of the show. But let's take a look really quick at the Division I bracket, or the open/Division I bracket. They do theirs a little bit differently because there are designated league automatic qualifiers. And if I'm not mistaken, the historian said that was made since De La Salle used to be so dominant, they always win, to give another program a chance to play in this state game. So let's take a peek. The number one seed is De La Salle. They'll take on James Logan, who's the 8th seed. Pittsburgh will play Antioch again in the second little big game, how that works in that section there. And then Clayton Valley is the number 3 seed playing the 6th, which is California. Then to round it off, we got Liberty playing Amador Valley. Amador Valley is the 5th, and Liberty is the 4th seed. So it looks like all these games will take place Friday. So Friday action in the NCS Open Division. So let me back up, man. Let me see if I can do that. Hey, we're working today, baby. So this bumps us, and when you go to the Division 2 bracket, it bumps us down to Max Preps here. Max Preps has posted the schedule, and San Ramon Valley is the #1 seed, and they'll play Berkeley, and that's a big game because San Ramon Valley is red hot. They got the quarterback Luke Baker just blowing through records over there. I think he's the section passing leader, and then Berkeley is buzzing, man. The buzz is back in Berkeley. Coach Perry has those boys rolling over there, and they got that big time receiver Jackson Harris, who's been pulling in offers left and right. Now we got another Harris, I believe it's Jalen Harris, that pulled in an offer there shortly after. So I'm not sure if that's a cousin, a brother, a friend, a nothing, but those guys, those Harris duo over there pulling in some offers for Berkeley. So let's bump down to the 4 and 5, which is, always a pretty good matchup, even keel. We got Foothill taking on Vintage. And then let's scroll down to the 2 versus 7. We got Camp Belindo taking Granada. We got my man Robbie rocking number 28 out there. It's a big time receiver from Camp Belindo and a great program. I think they will go ahead and take care of Granada. Camp Belindo is hot. And then there's a pretty good matchup. We got Rancho Cotati taking on Livermore. That game will be at Rancho Cotati. So let me see here. Looks like all these games are also on Friday night. So we'll have a lot of results coming that Friday. And then let's take a look at the Division 3 bracket with the top seed being El Cerrito. Those boys are playing some fast, athletic, well-coached football out there at El Cerrito. So they're the #1 seed. They'll take on Montgomery. The 4 and the 5 is Los Lomas and Northgate. We got my good DB Emmanuel Kearney over there holding it down, rocking #1, spitting up some good numbers, a Division 1 athlete with plenty of offers. Then we got Windsor. Windsor has a big time receiver and quarterback. They usually do. They had a great duo last year, so it looks like they're back, but a nice duo on the offensive side of the ball. And they'll play College Park. And College Park is 7, the 2 and the 7. And then we got American Canyon versus Casa Grande. They'll be the 3 and the 6, and all these games take place on Friday. So NCS, we're going to know what it is Friday night. Who's what and who's where. Division 4, we got the big dog. Marin Catholic. It's going to be hard to beat those guys. Marin Catholic will be playing. That looks like a Saturday game. They usually play their games on Saturday. So Saturday, 1 o'clock, Marin Catholic versus the #8 New York Memorial. And then the 4 and the 5 is Tennyson and Del Norte. But I got to take my boys from Tennyson. You know what time it is. They were on the show early in the season. So they playing some good football, potent offense. They're not allowing too many points. So look for Tennyson to make some noise. And then Alcalanes, great program, high power offense, Division 1 athletes, track stars over there, just playing some great football. They'll play Concord. Shout out to Coach Stu, who's doing a great job with those kids on the offense and also promoting his players to next level coaches. So shout out to Acalanes. They should take care of business. And then we got Cardinal Newman and Petaluma. Don't know much about either of those teams. I know Cardinal Newman has a pretty good coach, and he's got his team back to the playoffs. So shout out to them. And then here we go in that Division 5 bracket. We got San Marin taking on Alhambra. San Marin is the #1 seed. We got the 4 and the 5, Dianza. I like Dianza. They got some good coaches over there, and they got those boys believing in the system. And they are the 4th seed in the playoffs, taking on St. Bernard's, Miramonte. Miramonte. They got a big time quarterback. I was making sure I got the right school. They got a big time quarterback who was committed to UCLA, slanging the ball over there. So shout out to them. And then we got Anali versus San Rafael. And I know Anali has a big time receiver that's all purpose, probably averaging about 200, man. He's going to work over there. So Pittsburgh take on San Rafael. San Rafael is the 6th seed, looking to be the upset team, and their program is pretty active on Twitter as well. So shout out to the 3 and the 6 in that one. So we carry on. As we carry on, we get into Division 6. The NCS has more brackets or more divisions, I'm sorry, than the CCS. CCS, I believe, stops at 5. So let's take a peek here. We got St. Mary's. I think St. Mary's is undefeated. And they are the #1 seed. They'll take on Arcata. Man, I don't even know some of these teams, and I'm from the Bay, but okay. They're gonna go ahead and do against Arcata. We got Pinole Valley taking on Fortuna. Sorry, Fortuna or Fortuna. Forgive me. And then we got Monroe Catholic. You know, I love Monroe Catholic. They got that running back Chapman back there. They got a great behind the scenes team. I'm not sure who's leading their social media efforts over there. But they got a great team. And I know good friend Coach Leslie is involved with that program. So they will be taking on Salesian. Salesian won NorCal last year, I believe. I'm not sure if they won in state, but they beat Aragon in the NorCal championship. And then we got Justin Siena versus Middletown. Boy, the North Coast section goes far, man, because some of these schools I just have not heard of. And I'm sorry, but I'm sure y'all great football teams. If y'all want to schedule us, hit us up. Talk to our head coach, Todd Smith. He'll take care of that. But all respect to you in the programs in the North Coast section. Then we got St. Vincent de Paul. My man Trenton, the boys, Jordan, got them boys working out there. They are the #1 seed. They don't lose too often. And I think they are. I'm gonna just go tell you, they probably gonna go ahead and win this Division 7. It's gonna be hard to believe if they can if somebody can knock them off. But then we got at the bottom with that 3 and the 6, we got St. Patrick, St. Vincent. Good God. They are the #3 seed, and they be out there in the Vallejo area. Could they try to be the spoiler? But that is the NCS bracket 1 through 7. There it is. I'm a save who I think in our brackets. I ain't gonna speak on the programs. I'm not biased, so I'm not gonna speak on who I think will win. Minus this D7, it's hard to believe that they're gonna win. Hard to believe they're gonna lose St. Vincent de Paul. But I'll take a quick break. I'm gonna recharge this coffee, and then I'll be back, and then we'll hop into we're gonna take a look at the San Joaquin section bracket, who does host some Bay Area teams like that Vacaville area. They the Bay, doing it for Mac Dre. So they're in it. We'll take a look at them and some matchups out there in that San Joaquin section, and then we'll spin off to the CCS bracket. So give me a few seconds. We'll be right back. Let me get this coffee, get back recharged. This is the Mike Hill Show with West Coast Preps. And we got this Rihanna that lift me up, Wakanda forever. Hey, this is my jam right now. That lift me up, hold me down, because every now and then we all go through some things that we need to be lifted up and held down. You hear me? So let's get right to it, man. Let's get to it. I took a break. I'm recharged. I'm ready to go. Let's take a look at this. We're gonna go. I'm gonna get back to the share screen. I done learned a new thing this morning. Get back to the share screen. We're gonna take a quick peek at this San Joaquin section brackets really quick here, man. And I believe that they started their playoff run last week. They're 1 week ahead of us. So let's take a quick peek at this. Where we at, baby? Where we at? Okay, go with the share. How you like me now? How you like me now? How you like me now? First, we hopping into it. This is Division 1 bracket. The #1 seed out there is Folsom. They play some big time football. Rico Flores, I think Walker Lyons is injured, but he is still part of that team. And then they got a big time quarterback slinging a rock over there. So Folsom's the #1 seed. But hey, they got to run into St. Mary's. And y'all know I like St. Mary's. I like the Rams. Man, they got some ballers over there. That play some big time football. So I'm gonna call it, because we don't play in these teams, and St. Mary's for the upset. I'm taking St. Mary's over Folsom. You can count it. That's my upset for this bracket. So it doesn't look like too many teams within the Bay Area are in this Division 1 bracket. We'll peek at the Division 2 bracket really quick. Here it is. We got Manteca. Manteca got a big time player. Blake Nicholson's the linebacker slash running back who rushed for 400 yards not too long ago, which is unheard of. He is committed to Florida State. They're the #1 seed. They have a bye but they will play Vacaville. Vacaville won 30-20. So they'll play Manteca this week coming up in the 1-8. And then let me see who else we got here. And that's all we got pretty much in this one. So we got one Bay team doing it for the Bay with Vacaville. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go ahead and root for Vacaville. And that's sad. Recruiting just popped in my head. I'll be trying to help these kids so much with this recruiting, but so that's a word that I use often, but excuse my misspoken word. And let's take a peek here. No teams that we know there. So good luck to all of you. And here it is, right here, man, right here. We got Vanden, the number 1 seed, coming off that state bid not too long ago, trying to run it back, do it 2 times, so I can respect that. So they'll play. They had the bye week, and they'll play Buyak Colony. Buyak Colony was the 9th seed. They beat the 8th seed, so we can call it an upset. But my man, Coach Miles, coaches down there, and he has some great players. Caden Fade, also Jackson Piercoats, who just committed to Southern Utah. He'll be at running back and defensive back. So they'll play some hard football. And they're doing a great job up there. And also Vanden is too. So if you guys are on the Spaces, I did my first Spaces, Twitter Spaces, Twitter Spaces on Sunday. And we had some coaches chime in. We had some coaches from different areas chime in, so it was a good little love. So I may do the Twitter Spaces again this Sunday after all the results are final. But we got one more, man. My man, Coach Graves, out of Kimball. He used to coach at San Joaquin Delta, the junior college, and now he is the head coach at Kimball High School out there in Tracy. So they're doing some good work. They are the 4th seed. They had a bye, and they'll take on Lincoln. So good luck to Kimball. And then not too many more teams I know in this. No offense to all you guys. You're just a little bit out of my area. Can't keep up with it all. And I think that's it, man. I think that's it for Bay Area teams that'll be in this San Joaquin section. That is it for sure. So we'll go ahead and stop the share screen just for a moment, and we'll get back to me. So we will end this with the CCS bracket, and then we'll talk about the great Menlo Knights, who we face, where it's at, how to buy the tickets, where you should be, what time you should get there. So we always gonna show love to the home team, and that's the Menlo Knights. But real quick, let's get into the CCS bracket and then tell you a story about scouting and watching a show called Love is Blind. I'll get into that in a moment. So let's take a peek. Way back to the shared screen. One moment here. Get back to the shared screen so we can look at the CCS bracket here. Okay, right here, share. Come on, baby. There we go. The Central Coast section, the section that matters the most to me because we're in it. And there's no offense to any other team that's in it. But here we go. We're going to work our way up with this one. We're going to start with the Division 5 bracket. The Division 5 bracket. The number 1 seed is Westmont. I think they out of San Jose, California. They'll take on Willow Glen. The 2 and the 7 is Palo Alto. The Palo Alto Vikings will take on Stevenson with a home game for Palo Alto. Then let's hop to the 6 and the 3. We got Woodside versus Seaside. Woodside's not right up the road in Redwood City. So hopefully they can pull off a win with the Woodside program. I believe they were undefeated back in the playoffs, first time since 2010. So that means that the coaches over there are doing something right. So shout out to Woodside. Good luck to you guys. And then the 4 and the 5, we got Monterey versus Pioneer. Pioneer is in San Jose, California. And we got Monterey out of Monterey. And my boy, Coach Bishaw, is the head coach. And he also runs spreadoffense.com. Let me go take a peek. Let me see if I can pull this up. So all coaches, especially young coaches, man, you got to get knowledge from everywhere. You just got to keep learning with an open mind. So it's the Spread Offense. The Twitter is at spread_offense. And then he posts great content about just the spread offense. And during the off season, me and my guy, we do get together, and even during the season, man, since we're not playing each other this year, we bounce ideas, we talk, man. We really just keep us locked in. So shout out to Monterey. Let's see if the 5th seed Monterey can pull an upset and go on to win the CCS title for Division 5. Let's back it up. Let's go to Division 4. Here we are. Division 4, the number 1 seed went to Sequoia Ravens. Gotta shout out Sequoia. If you guys do watch the show faithfully, my family, friends, the ones that care about your boy, they do watch it faithfully. We had Coach Mims, the offensive coordinator for Sequoia. They are 9-1, and they are the number 1 seed. They will play Overfelt from San Jose, who's also 9-1. Excuse me, let me get a little coffee here. So Overfelt from San Jose will take on Sequoia at Sequoia. The number 2 seed is Mountain View will take on Homestead. Mountain View and Homestead. Homestead is the 7th seed, and they'll travel down to Milpitas. And then the 3 and the 6, we got San Mateo High School, the local team, San Mateo High School. They made a run in the playoffs last year. I believe they may have won. Did they win? They may have won CCS or made it to the CCS championship game. But they're playing some good football. And then they got my boy. They taking on Branham. My boy, Coach Stephen Johnson runs the program over there, and he has them at 9-1. 9-1, and they are league champs. So they are catching steam. They ready to go. So that's going to be a good game. That's going to be Branham taking on San Mateo. Let me see. And then the 4 and 5. The 4 and 5 is always a toss-up, right? Because they're so close and evenly ranked. We got St. Francis, Watsonville taking on Santa Teresa. And I believe Coach Pappin is the head coach over there at Santa Teresa. He has some stints at Menlo Atherton, also at Independence. Back in my day when I was playing arena football, I believe he was arena football coach connected with the SaberCats. So shout out to Coach Pappin and the boys, see if they can pull that off, the 4th seed. But St. Francis, Watsonville will travel to Santa Teresa. Here we go. Move on to the Division 3 bracket, the bracket that matters the most. Why? Because the Menlo Knights are in Division 3. No bias, just kidding. Let's see. So the number 1 team went to SoCal. They are 9-1, and they will take on Terra Nova. Terra Nova hopped into the party that I mentioned earlier. They hopped in the party. They are 8-2. They hop in as an 8th seed, see if they can upset some teams and go on to get to the next round of the CCS Division 3 playoff run. And then the 2nd seed, we got Live Oak. Live Oak will take on Soledad. And I remember I posted something Sunday morning, and coach from Live Oak said, let's go. They want Bama. So they will get Soledad. And you ain't getting Bama, but you're going to get Soledad. And Soledad might be Bama. They 9-1. So we're going to see who wins that game. Soledad versus Live Oak. And then we got the Menlo Knights. The Menlo Knights. We are here. Just in case y'all thought we were only going to make the playoffs, any buffoonery. Things tend to happen, but don't doubt it. We got Menlo Knights taking on Kings Academy. We are 5-5, but the higher seed with the 3 taking on Kings Academy, who's 8-2. So that should be a good matchup. As you know, the Menlo Knights did take on the Kings Academy. Are they the Knights? I don't even know, but we took them on early in the season, and we were victorious that game. But it's always hard to beat a team twice. So, we're not taking, I'm not taking, our coaches are our kids. No one's taking Kings Academy lightly. It's hard to beat a team twice. They playing some good football. I think they have ripped off 8. They on an 8-game winning streak. So, child, please, if you think we just going to come in that game and just roll over them, got another thing coming. But Menlo Knights to be ready. We are working tirelessly to get our team ready. Our players are working tirelessly to get their mind, their body, and their souls in order to win this game. So Let's bump down to the 4 versus 5. We had Hollister and Burlingame, with Burlingame taking the number 4 seed. So they'll host a home game versus Hollister, who was the 5th seed, who will have to travel up from the long, long way of Hollister to play the Burlingame Panthers. And that's the 4 and the 5. So I went through all that. So let's just talk about Sunday at the Hill residence. So we found out we're playing Kings Academy, and instantly, once you find out the team that you're playing, it's in your best interest to really start game planning and getting after it. So I'm game planning. I'm watching film. I'm watching the previous game that we played against Kings, trying to figure it out. But as you know, sometimes when you live somewhere, you are not the boss of your house, and sometimes you are not the boss of the TV. And I'm definitely not the boss of my TV in this house, because I don't get to watch things that I want to watch. I have to watch usually kid movies. I've watched Frozen at least 367 times. I've been watching Hotel Transylvania at least 50 times since Halloween started. I do also watch Megamind, and that has a lot to do with my 3-year-old that controls the TV. But then you can travel off to the living room, and then the boss of the TV in there is not me. But I had to watch a show called Love is Blind. And if you ever, this is not about sports, but this is, if you ever have to watch the show Love is Blind, as I was doing my scouting, taking my notes, I caught myself, kept looking at the TV. And on this show, Love is Blind, the contestants go on dates per se, but they don't see the person. So they sitting in a room talking, and they just expressing all their feelings and telling people that they love them. They can't even see. So this is true feelings. It ain't base. It ain't shallow. It ain't shallow. It's not off looks or anything like that. And then one girl went on a date, and she was doing jumping jacks while the guy was talking about his terrible upbringing. So after that, he decided to not go on any more dates with her. But then I just kept watching the show, man. Then they finally, in order to meet them, you gotta propose, and then you get to go on a in-person date. So sounds bogus, man, but it's actually an interesting show. So shout out to Alex. She got me on that show. So I had to watch Love is Blind while I watch film. I had to. It was not a choice. So it's all good. But then let's move on. That's my little tangent about Love is Blind, man. But don't start watching the show. It's a little addictive. It's stupid, but it's addictive. So don't do it, fellas. Let's get into this Division II bracket. And this Division II bracket to me is like a 1A bracket, man, because any of these teams they are 1 or 2 wins away. Some won, like 1 win away from being in the Division I bracket. So we'll take a peek. Who got the top notch was Wilcox, and I think there was a little bit of not little chatter that Wilcox should have been Division I. They were 9-1, and then they dropped down to be the number 1 seed in D2, as you may know. Excuse me. Wilcox won Division II last year, and they went on to the state games where they fell short to Scripps Ranch out of Southern California, and they are the favorite. According to most people, I don't have favorites, but they are their favorite to win this bracket here. So they'll take on Lincoln of San Jose. And then the number 2 seed was St. Ignatius out the WCAL. Shout out to my man Soren, who's a starting quarterback there as a sophomore. He is a 2025 prospect. That will be a Division I prospect when it's all said and done, because he is a part of the Coach Mike Hill SF training program. So we're going to get them right. And then they will take on Half Moon Bay. Half Moon Bay, as you know, we fell to Half Moon Bay in a shootout. Well, against the scrum, they run the ball continuously, but man, that's a good team. So that's going to be a tough matchup for SI. I don't know who's going to win that game. I will hold my own opinions in that game, but Half Moon Bay will travel down, 19th Avenue. Maybe they'll go Ocean Beach way and then shoot up to St. Ignatius, who's in the avenues, but they'll be the 2 and the 7. Let's take a look at the 3 and the 6. And this was Christopher. So Christopher won the game against Live Oak. They won the game against Live Oak. Congratulations, you won. And now you bumped up to the 6 seed versus Aptos. God dang. And if anybody knows football, Aptos runs that wing T triple option that's really hard to stop. So they'll travel down to that Aptos. I believe they're in the Santa Cruz area. So Christopher 9-1 league champs. So they are league champs. They'll look to upset Aptos at home. So we'll see how that goes. And then we'll have a rematch here. Bellarmine versus Menlo Atherton. This game will be at Menlo Atherton again. As you know, in the first time they played, Bellarmine was up by quite a few points. Then Menlo Atherton and Jurion Dickey, we call it, they went ape. You can finish the rest. And then they came back to win that game. So Menlo Atherton will take on Bellarmine again in the rematch, the early season rematch, and we'll see who can pull that off. And that's it. That's it. I won't tell you who I think gonna win, but there is a coach, not a coach's bracket. There's like a bracket that Ethan Castle creates where you can pick winners and losers. It is confidential because people think you'd be hating if you don't pick their team, but that's just how the game go, fellas. But there is a bracket, so I'll just refer to my bracket who I think is going to win. And let's take a look at the big show. This is the big show. This is the Division I CCS Championship. And the winner of this game usually is the open qualifier to play that Southern California powerhouses. I don't know if you're going to pay Modern Day or my guys at St. John Bosco. I don't know, but it all rolls downhill after you win that CCS championship because it ain't a lot of teams that can beat those teams from Southern California. But good luck. We are rooting for you because we're going to always give love to the home team in Northern California. But let's take a look here. We got the mighty Padres, 10-0, undefeated WCAL champs. The only tight game I think they really had was St. Ignatius. That was 21-7. So they are looking to take care of Palma, who's 8-2. Palma had a great year. They have beat a WCL team in Sacred Heart Cathedral early in the season. So they are 8-2 Palma versus Sarah Padres. The 2-7, St. Francis will host the Sacred Heart Cathedral Fighting Irish. They're pretty evenly matched, man. St. Francis 7-3, Sacred Heart Cathedral is 6-4, and they played each other this season within league, and I think St. Francis won by 7, maybe 7, maybe 10, but St. Francis did pull off the win. So they're the 2-7. So that game, even though the brackets may be wider with the 2-7, that's to me is like a 4-5 as well. So any team can win that one. And then let's take a peek at the 3 versus 6. Los Gatos gets the 3rd seed, and they will take on Archbishop Mitty, who started off really hot. My chair just went down. I was like a lowrider. See, that's why you can't buy chairs off like Amazon and stuff, man, because things like that happen in the middle of your show, but that's a different story. Anywho, Mitty started off really hot, and then they took just a couple losses. I think they lost to Sierra. They were upset by St. Ignatius, and I can't remember who the other squad was that they won or lost to, but Mitty is 7-3. They'll travel just a short drive up to Los Gatos to play Los Gatos in the 3-6 contest. And then the one that really made me scratch my head is the 4-5. The 4-5 Salinas takes on Sacred Heart Prep. Why is this so interesting to me is because Sacred Heart Prep is 9-1. A lot of the projections had them as a 3rd seed. And they beat a WCL team in Reardon. They lost to 1 point against Sacred Heart Cathedral. They won our league, the PAL Bay, in controlling fashion, pretty much in all the games. And then they dropped from the 3 to the 5. And I don't know how that happens, but that's not my expertise. But Sacred Heart Prep will have to travel up to Salinas and play in the pit versus Salinas. Now, it'll be a good matchup. Carter Shaw is a big-time defensive back and wide receiver. He will go against Nazir Hunter, who is a Cal Bear commit. Their quarterback The quarterback is committed to Northern Colorado, and they have a linebacker committed to Idaho. So Salinas has some heat, and it's really hard to play down there in the pit, man. We played there for just a scrimmage, and it was 3,000 people there. I'm talking about a scrimmage now, and it was packed. And that snack bar is fire. Trust me. Stop by the pit snack bar. Get yourself a tri-tip sandwich. Thank me later. Send me a tweet. Send me a message. Get yourself a tri-tip sandwich. Also, if you're really hungry, double back and get those carne asada tacos. And if you really hungry, like you ain't ate all day, go ahead and get that loaded baked potato. My man Coach Wright, who's one of our defensive back and wide receiver coaches at Menlo, he was so excited about that baked potato. So shout out to the pit and that 4 and 5. So that's a big time bracket, man. It's gonna be really hard. Regardless, it's gonna be really hard to beat Sarah. They've been battle tested against Folsom. They've been battle tested against De La Salle. They just showed you that they are the top seed in this bunch. But that is the let me stop the share screen here. That is the CCS bracket, man. So we went through the NCS bracket. We went quickly through the San Joaquin bracket just to see any Bay Area teams that are in there, and then we went through the CCS bracket. So good luck to all the playoff teams. Everybody is 1-0 going in. Yeah, it's a new season. Congratulations. Everybody did not get to come to the dance. You know, sometimes you ain't got tickets to the dance. So everybody did not get to come. So take that as an accomplishment, man. No matter what, you have a chance to make history, right? You have a chance to win a first round game, a second round game, and then a section title, man. And then you can carry on to NorCal and state championship. And trust me when I say that anything is possible once you get to the playoffs. Just based off last year's experience, we took some L's, quite a bit of L's when I was at Sacred Heart Cathedral, but we never lost faith, and we kept the faith all the way through the CCS section, won a championship, won a NorCal championship, and won a state championship, as you can see, baby. The ring is here in the box. The ring is here. The ring is blingy. So get yourself a ring, man. You know, I keep that there. That's a little motivation. Get yourself this is a state championship hats that they had last year, man. Get yourself a ring. You know what I'm saying? Let me fix this hat. A little tag want to come out when I was trying to look fresh. How dare you? Get yourself a state championship hat, man. Get you one of these. And then good luck, man. I will be here Sunday. Hopefully I'm here Sunday watching film, getting ready for the second round, not watching Love is Blind. But hey, things happen. So I will check back with y'all Sunday. Win, lose, or draw. This is the Mike Hill Show, West Coast Preps. God bless. Stay dry in the weather and go Knights. And now let me get back to that Drake, Her Loss. I'm about to start that whole album. Thank you.